In my opinion, enduring characters are very valuable. These are characters that have a distinct portrayal or potential that invites viewers to want more. Some films, however, are a bit more final. For example, Raya and the Last Dragon, Strange World, and to an extent Encanto have worlds that are fundamentally designed around ensuring that the story would happen. That may be an odd thing to say, but bear with me. Of course the story happens in a world where it can happen, but some worlds have depth and extendability, while others can only really just tell the story they're made for. Functionally, it would be very focused on the topic, but in the long term it's self-defeating. Once the story wraps up, the world just sort of neatly folds itself out of existence. The characters vanish into the ether to make room for new material, as there's nothing more to expect or speculate on. In my opinion, that's not very satisfying and doesn't give much drive to rewatch, and undermines faith in future productions. Rather than being enticed by a thrilling new experience, you'll remember, you have, at least in the back of your mind, the sense they will be a very bland and forgettable affair. I had a funny thought today. Dreamworks is better at making Disney films than Disney has been for over 2 decades now. This is not just saying old things is overly valuable and new things is worthless. One film that comes to mind is a fairly recent film. Something I want to be sure of if I do ever upgrade is that it'll be worth it. I want my mind to be blown by how much faster and more capable it is. I upgraded from a 1060 to a 3060, and it was a little better, but my mind wasn't blown. Actually, I was rather underwhelmed. It is only a mid-tier graphics card, but I'd hoped the 2 series jump would have been a bigger difference. The one thing it does have that the other doesn't is RTX, but it doesn't work that well. It's like it's included so they can say the GPU technically has it. In practice, it's far slower than not using it and has more artifacts. Marvel has a funny way of using side characters. They'll introduce them in one movie, and then they'll be in the background, if featured at all, for years. Then the next time they have any real involvement, it's to be written off instantly. Hey, remember that guy from way back then? We just remembered. I was thinking, and I realized that The Mandalorian is actually a pretty funny show. At least the first season or two is. I think coloring it in a grim action movie scheme does us a disservice to how comedic it all is. Not that you couldn't lean into the excessively broody atmosphere for comedic effect, but the show doesn't really, as far as I can tell. The show does feel like it wants to do 3 or 4 completely different things, but the look sells it as a different show than any of those things. It's a shame, really. And maybe in 5 years there'll be a cartoon remake that doesn't take itself too seriously.